objectives of the master plan, first and foremost, was to develop a comprehensive vision and program for the development of the capital markets in Kenya. In that, we're hoping the steering committee will identify the legal framework and institutional strengthening requirements to really promote the deepening and widening of our market. We're looking forward to them designing strategies for the broadening of the capital markets, which is targeting both the attraction of the demand side, being the investors, and the supply side, being the issuers. We cannot lose sight of the central importance of the ongoing EAC integration, and we want to ensure that as we're doing our strategy, we're positioning Kenya to take full advantage of the benefits that are going to come from that EAC integration process. In the process of carrying out their market assessment profiling, we hope they'll also be able to lay the groundwork for the capital markets to play a much more effective role in supporting economic development. When you look at the vision and the challenge that's been presented to the capital markets in the vision, to really provide the long-term financing and support the savings and investment culture that will be necessary to move us to a point where we'll be having year-on-year GDP growth of in excess of 10%. We also see them playing a very key role in giving the key institutions in the market guidance as to what we need to be doing with respect to governance, management, and for the regulator, looking at our capacity to regulate, supervise, and enforce. Now, as a steering committee, the challenge being presented is to provide oversight and leadership for the development of the master plan process, to manage the consultations with industry and the professional bodies, both locally and internationally, to make sure that whatever when we think of what we need to do, we're taking into account the right voices to make sure that the product will be responsive to those needs. We are encouraging the steering committee to establish subcommittees targeting different thematic areas so that where they need key work done, even those thematic subcommittees will be able to co-opt other members to really help in the conceptualization and implementation process. And ultimately, we hope to see the steering committee providing recommendations with respect to how this master plan, once adopted, will actually be implemented, and what are the relevant oversight mechanisms that are going to exist to make sure that it's able to be implemented over time. And ultimately to make sure whatever action plans they're able to design will actually see the light of day. Now, with respect to governance structure, the chairperson and members have been appointed by the chairman of the Capital Markets Authority. Now, that has been done because we were having regard to the statutory mandate of the authority. We've been vested with the responsibility for deepening the market. So we did not want to have a situation that there would be any, multiple centers of direction and authority. We have certain statutory powers and mandates which we want the steering committee to be able to take advantage of. Now, the steering committee, as mentioned, will be able to co-opt additional members, and will be reporting to the board of the Capital Markets Authority. We're projecting maybe once in every 2 months, just to make sure that you have sufficient independence in what you're doing, but also to be able to get the buy-in and the support that will be necessary. And we're hoping to see reports tabled to the Ministry of Finance on a quarterly basis, just to make sure that we also have the support and drive from central government in the implementation of the plan. Now, we are looking forward to establishing a support task force to work with the committee, which will be drawn both from the authority as well as from the industry. And the authority will be taking on the process of appointing any relevant consultancies to be able to support your work as you move forward. Meetings are projected to occur about once a month, but we imagine both at the initial stages of conceptualization And at the later stages of finalization of the report, those meetings might actually be, there may be more meetings necessary. And there'll be thematic areas, committees that are working throughout that period. Now, the final expected outputs of this will be first and foremost a market assessment report, because we appreciated that it's very difficult to define where you're going if you don't know where you're coming from. And we need to be very clear on what are the particular gaps and weaknesses and lessons learned we want to address in finalizing any master planning process.
I strongly believe that the capital market is the center of development. There is nothing we can achieve going forward without a robust capital market. What has happened in the past is that because the capital market for quite some time has not played its role, its central role in providing the environment to raise capital for development, that the banks and the other financial institutions have more or less hijacked a very, very key role in the development of our economy. And this is why we have decided to make this team, to invite you from diverse resources and centers, a more inclusive team that will help us plan for the next couple of years. The various products that we will wish to bring to the market, the various initiatives that we would like to bring into the market, will help us develop a robust capital market that will attract investors, both local and outside. And it's only by coming up with a plan that's well thought out, well coordinated, well taken care of, and with this capital market being assertive in that role, that we can really achieve the goal that we set ourselves. It's from your work that we are going to benefit this country, benefit generations to come, and make sure that capital markets remains the destination for all investors.